As you are.
Whatever.
Nerd.
Hello, what's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of Not a Nerd Pod. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We want to hear from you. All right, Cap. All right, Lou. What's up?
Hi, how's up?
Okay. You look
Yeah. I'm bringing that energy. I'm tired. Let's do this.
all right. Let's get into some topics.
I'm tired. Ooh, look at me. My name's
Hey,
Derek.
what's
I'm
up?
so tired. Ooh.
Is that supposed to be? That's supposed to be me. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Final
Let's do it.
Daredevil Born Again thoughts. What are they?
I thought it was dope. Look, Derek trying to think. He ain't watch it. He ain't watch none of the episodes. He ain't watch not one episode. He probably saw like one and saw mad commercials. He ain't see not one. But you know what? I did. I saw all 8, and it was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. I think overall it was dope having it back. I like that it was rated R. I like that, like they did the Netflix thing. They did their thing. I didn't like how they tried to incorporate 3 different storylines, which kind of like didn't give the spotlight to certain villains.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over now, and being that one of our pod mates didn't watch the series, I'm gonna spoil it. Really don't care. The fact that they killed off Muse halfway through the season after building him up kind of didn't vibe with me. It didn't check, it didn't pass the vibe check.
You know
But
what? Me neither.
I like where
brother.
they're going with it. I think that they're setting up for something bigger for season 2. I like how
You
the
think there's
Punisher.
gonna be a season 2?
No, there's definitely gonna be a season 2. Matter of fact,
Okay.
the Punisher is getting his own little mini movie thing, and it starts from the very end of how season 1 ended. So I thought it was dope. It was a really good time.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
I like your review. Spot on. Very accurate. There's only 8 episodes, right? I think it should
Yeah,
have been longer than that.
that's
It
most of
definitely should have been longer
the
than
series on Netflix. They're
Now, it might have been 9 episodes. I'm not sure. It was like 8 or 9. I
that.
episodes.
forget.
That sounds
It's up there.
At
It's
least
up
12.
there.
At least 12. I think 12 is a solid number for any series like that. You know what I mean?
They never do 12 episodes on a Netflix series.
9 is kind of short though. I need double digits. You know what I mean? I need double
I mean,
digits.
10 I think is like the perfect
The
sweet spot.
most is that I've ever seen on a Netflix series is 10 episodes. The most.
Well, it's not. It wasn't on
Really?
Netflix. It was on Disney Plus. But I'm not. I think the sweet spot is 10 episodes.
Yeah, same with Disney. Same thing.
Well, Disney
guess.
has this thing where it's like it's either 6 or 9 episodes, which I don't agree with because it's like that's not enough episodes to tell a story, and for a full
Exactly.
season, like it's almost like you're just splitting apart one movie, a 6-hour movie that you're trying to split it up into 6 hours. Like that's basically what it is. But I think that this series didn't do that. It didn't go it went the episode route. It didn't do I'm gonna film a big movie and then I'm gonna split it up into episodes like they did with previous Marvel shows.
That's how Moon Knight felt. Moon Knight
It
just
felt like a big movie that they split up.
yeah.
Yeah. I much rather the episode where it's kind of like leave me on a cliffhanger at the end of the episode, so that way like I could be excited to come into the next week. Because Netflix, you could do that because you're literally dropping the entire season in one go. Yeah, so a lot of people just binge
when
it.
they do the cliffhanger thing episodes when it comes to these Marvel shows because they are so short. They're usually 8 or 9 episodes, like you stated, and some of them don't come back for a season 2. It's a limited series, so I don't like that cliffhanger thing. Just tell the story, give a good ending, and then if it happens to come back, then come back with a bang. But
nah, I'm cool with the cliffhanger as long as there's a clear setup to bring it back for if it was. you don't go into it expecting like, all right, so we're gonna do this, and then unless you come out of the gate like, yeah, this is a limited series, then cool. I'm cool with there not being any
Yeah.
cliffhanger, be just being straight up what it is. But if you're planning on having this go ongoing, like what they said what they was gonna do with Daredevil, then yeah, leave me on the cliffhanger because I want to look forward
But
to see.
sometimes shows don't get the green light. For example, Agatha all along, everyone thought there was going to be a season 2. The last episode ended on a cliffhanger where it could have continued, and it didn't.
Mhm.
It greenlit.
Yeah, but I mean, but that was unfortunate only because Marvel
That
started
happens with a
retooling
lot of
a lot of
shows
stuff.
now.
Yeah, I get that, but specifically with the MCU, I don't want to like speculate on like other different types of shows, but specifically with like Agatha, Moon Knight, these shows there was plans for a season 2. It
Yeah.
just didn't materialize because of the fact that they started retooling. A lot of this stuff started happening because of the Jonathan Majors stuff. And then them not exactly knowing what they wanted to do with the whole X-Men. What are they going to do with the multiverse? How are they
Well,
going to integrate different things?
Jonathan Majors, Charlemagne started a production company and has Charlemagne the God. And one of his first projects is going to include Jonathan Majors. That was announced today. So he
Well, I
is
mean,
Oh, wow.
he's making a
comeback.
comeback.
He's
He's making
making
a
a
comeback.
comeback.
He's in that
As he
movie,
should.
that bodybuilding movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And he actually
Yeah,
did
so
well.
he's making his little comeback.
But
And
now
I think
they're talking to see, like wondering if Marvel is going to rehire him and put him back into the MCU.
well, I think that there is going to be talks at some point. I don't think it's going to be right now because they did release the spoiler, not spoiler, but the cut scene from Thunderbolts with Jonathan Majors Kang
Mhm.
in it. So
Oh,
I
really?
think some way, somehow, they're going to try to bring him back. I don't think it's going to be during the multiverse, or if it is, I really don't know what they're
I
doing.
think at
I
this
just
point
know
they
that
might have to. I feel like they might have to just go
I'm
on and
cool with them
bring
doing
him
it
on
if
back.
if he turns out to be the Beyonder. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
cool with with them. It's just because exactly what are you doing with the Fantastic Four? I heard Thunderbolts ties into Fantastic Four and Doomsday.
That is the
And
rumor.
if we're going off of Secret Wars and we're going off of Battle World and all of this stuff with Doom, then are we going to get the evil version of Reed Richards? Are we going to like what are we doing? Like what is this setting up? So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. But
Yeah.
as you know, the only person that's seen Thunderbolt so far that can attest is Derek,
I had to put that
who
out there.
hasn't
I'm the
seen
No,
Daredevil.
only
no,
person that has
Who
I actually
seen.
hasn't
didn't
seen
see it.
Daredevil.
I
Um
actually didn't see it.
Wait, did you
Y'all
see it or
gotta
did you
watch
not, man?
Daredevil,
Like, what are you
okay?
doing? What are we
No,
doing here?
I didn't see it.
Make sure y'all watch Daredevil.
Ooh-wee.
If you haven't watched Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus, please make sure you do. It's actually a really good series. You won't be disappointed.
I'm
I know
I'm
we
tired of
bouncing
Deborah's
around
shit.
here, we talking all over here, but
I
everything
am
we're
tired of
mentioning,
Deborah's.
make sure
Oh,
you go see it.
before we go on
Make
to the
sure you
next
watch.
topic, shout out to Rob. Wish he could have been here. His computer's messed up, and we love you. You
Love
are
you.
I don't like all this hatred
a
on me.
much
I don't
valued
like
member of our pod because you
it.
actually watch episodes.
so,
Woo!
so I have no value? No value? This is crazy.
That was crazy. That was crazy. The Last of Us. It
Gotta clip
sounds
that.
like
I'm gonna clip that.
I see how it is.
it sounds like he's he's coming hard for you, Derek. He's
That
acting
was kind
like
of crazy. Let's switch up the movies there. That was a little crazy.
no, The Last of Us. Yeah, don't expect much from me on this topic.
That's all you, Lou. Go ahead.
Oh, am I the only one that's been watching The Last of Us?
Yeah,
So
probably.
I've been really busy,
All
like
right.
I said.
All right, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna get into my rant.
I haven't watched TV
And
in
I'm gonna
almost
let
2
you
weeks.
guys know right now, there's going to be extreme spoilers, and I really don't care because it's y'all fault. It's y'all fault. It's y'all
You
fault.
know what? I didn't even start season 1, so you're
All
good.
right, so we go. You
Wait.
played the game.
Okay,
You played
hold
the
on.
game, right? You played the game.
No.
Oh, that's right. You're an Xbox. You don't. All right, never mind. All right. Anyways, use spoiler alert. Fast forward, rewind, whatever you want to do. This is a full spoiler alert. Don't care. I'm
Wait,
giving you
before you
2
spoil it,
seconds.
what I will
Fast forward.
say is that what I have watched what I did have the time to watch. It is a dope show. I will say that. And I did
But
have.
have you played the game?
I only played the game like twice. I played it with my
Okay,
brother.
so let me get into my rant.
Oh yeah.
Okay, where do I start? First of all, season 1 was rushed. Don't care what nobody says. It was rushed. There was so much parts from the game that they left out of the show that I wish they left in for the show because it would have made for a better immersion, and you could have kind of stretched out season 1 into season 2 with the first game. The first game is expansive. It's huge. There's so much set pieces.
So with
That
that part, I can agree with. Based on what I've seen, I can actually agree with
right.
that. I can agree with
Season
that.
2 again, feel like it's rushed for the same reasons that season 1 I feel is rushed. See, The Last of Us Part 2 is huge, and it's and going off of the first game into the second game, there's a substantial time lapse. There's a substantial time gap. So with that, you have to be able to fill in those gaps. You can't just rush this show.
Yeah.
Especially for the fact that there's only 2 games out. It's not like there's a third game out. It's not like they're developing a third game. They're fully invested into developing Interstellar right now, Naughty Dog. So at the end of the day, like there's what's the rush?
Well,
Okay,
maybe the rush is that they're trying to get squeeze as much into the seasons as possible because, TV is fickle. It's not a guarantee that they're gonna have the time to actually, let a slow burn
as
happen.
everybody was excited about this show,
True.
especially the people that's actually played the game. So when you play the game is already set up like a movie. It's literally like one long movie that you're actually playing, right? So it goes in the lungs of Resident Evil. Why hasn't Resident Evil's franchises been successful? Because the source material is there for you to do a correct movie off of it, especially for the fact that cutscenes and all of this stuff makes it into something that could be deemed a movie appropriate. Okay, we could do more in a show. I could tell you more of a story because I have more time to tell you. It's not like I have to condense things down to an hour and a half to 2.5 hours for a movie. I have a full season to tell you a good story. Cool. They are telling a good story, but the thing is, you're rushing this story. The thing that made The Last of Us Part 1 so good was the storytelling in the actual video game.
Yeah.
These guys have taken a time to write out these scenarios and these stories and these set pieces for you to play the game and experience it in first person. The Last of Us Part 1 was probably one of, if not one of my top 5 favorite games all time because of how it made me feel at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
When you have to think about the morality of what Joel is doing as far as with
Well, this is
Ellie and
why
saving
they
her life rather
say.
than letting her die for the sake of humanity.
But this is why they
So
say that you're not really considered and this is across several industries. You're not really considered a success until you made it past the sophomore, your sophomore album, movie, show, episode, whatever.
they're not
Because
making it past
a
that.
lot of people don't make it. They do good in the first season or the first round or whatever, but the second one, it doesn't, it pales in comparison, basically.
Well, I mean, but the second game I mean, in my opinion, it was better than the first game. I had to force myself to continue playing the game after Joel died. I mean, it literally took me a year. It took my brother calling me up, like shout out JL. It took him calling me like, yo, bro, just finish the game. It's a dope game. I know you got to play as this, this woman and whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a whole year to go back to the game after Joel died, but it's that's what video games does, and I don't think that people understand the medium that video games really present. They can tell you this dope story that you could get fully invested into, and you're upset when your favorite character dies, or your favorite character is going through something. For instance, Gears of War, they're coming back out with the Gears of War remake, Reloaded, which I'm super excited about. But
That
that
is
whole
one game that I've
series,
played all like
yeah,
continuously.
that whole series is dope because of the storytelling that they're telling with that story. So imagine them dropping a series and them not going through the not giving a proper um a proper what do you call it, analysis of the character development that you guys have. How, Dom and I forget his other name. I mean, they've been through so much. You have to be able to tell that story of how they've come together. Why do they mean so much to each other? By the time we get to season 2 of The Last of Us, yeah, we understand that Joel and Ellie may have went through a lot of stuff to be together, but for somebody that has never played the game, how do you know, who's never played the game, how they've been able to consider themselves family and go forward with each other, because there's no real character development because you rush
Yo,
through season
I'm
1.
sorry. Derek is gonna make me like, what are you doing
I'm
right
sorry.
now?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What
I was
are
just
you
trying to fix
doing?
myself. I'm like, go
What?
ahead.
I was trying
But
to hold
yeah,
this
I mean,
together.
I was
but
trying to
look,
fix the
and
background.
then they didn't introduce the
It wasn't
spores.
working.
There's so much stuff that I want to nitpick. I do think that the show is cool. I don't agree with all of the casting for the show,
Yeah.
but I do agree with some of the changes. I just don't agree with all of the changes. I don't agree with this. There's a
I'm
lot to not
learning to
like.
give shows
As a
grace.
fan of this game and the series, is a lot to not like at all.
I'm learning to give series grace because now that I've kind of been on the other side of it, I know a little bit more about what it takes to make a whether it be a short film or a feature film or a show, a limited series. I understand now, and so what I will say is that in real time, certain decisions have to be made, and you really have to choose. Like, okay, is it more important for the story and the viewers to keep this part or forego that part, or what are we against the clock? What are the chances that we'll get greenlit for this? What are the chances that it'll go past this? And so from the other side of it, I will say that I'm learning to give grace, and I can understand the nuances and what they are, with why it might have seemed rushed. From the fan perspective, however, I feel like if you can't fit what viewers want to see inside of a series or a movie, don't do it.
Well,
That's
what I
where I'm
will, what, to play devil's advocate with what you just said, I would be totally fine with everything that you just said if the showrunner wasn't the actual creator of the game. Neil Druckmann is one of the showrunners. Neil Druckmann is on the board.
at.
Neil Druckmann is there to help facilitate this show. I'll be perfectly fine if
Well,
he
he
had
doesn't
no
always
part
have
in
to
it.
say.
He has the final say. Sony has the final say. Sony is giving him the leverage and the power. That's the thing. It's like, this is your baby. This is your baby, and you're putting it out into a medium where you get to tell your story in live action. Not
True.
everybody gets to do that. Not from a video game standpoint,
Very
not from
true.
an anime standpoint, not from a comic standpoint. Not
Not from
everybody
a
gets to
book
do that.
standpoint.
So the
Yeah.
fact that you get to do this and you get to put it on a huge platform like HBO, who is famous and notorious for throwing the bag at shows.
Yeah.
Literally. If it wasn't for
Times has changed as far
before
as
Game of
throwing the
Thrones,
bag at shows now.
they are.
It's real fickle
They're one of the most they're one of the most spend happy studios.
now. It's been
Are not.
happy.
I mean, Game of Thrones is one of the most expensive series in any medium.
But it was
So
crazy successful. It's still successful, even though it's over.
right. Right. But when you have somebody like George R.R. Martin, who's sitting in behind the
I
scenes,
started
that's
re-binging
helping.
it, by the way.
This is him sitting and oh, this is my baby. I wrote this. I got to tell you exactly how this is gonna go. A lot of the stuff that's in the show was in the books.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, I get that they made subtle changes or they didn't add certain stuff from the game of from the Fire and Ice series.
Mhm.
Cool. I'm cool with the changes that you guys made because of the fact that George R.R. Martin was on board. But when you have such a successful game like The Last of Us that's made a lasting imprint, that's been through 3 generations, PlayStation 3, 4, and 5, this game
But that
means
doesn't
a
mean
lot
that
to
it's
the
gonna
people.
be a widely successful show, though. I feel like Game of Thrones, it had that backing because it was a surefire way. It was gonna be successful. There was no doubt in
There's
anybody's
no
mind.
there's no
Harry
guarantee it was going to
Potter,
be
there was
successful.
no
Yes, there
doubt
was
I
a
don't
in
think it was
guarantee.
going to.
mind
I don't
that
think
Yes,
there
this
was
there
going to
was a
be.
guarantee.
would
There
be
was for sure a
successful.
guarantee.
It was
Or
How you figure? How
guaranteed.
you
Pokemon,
figure? Derek?
guaranteed. Like there are certain things that you put your backing behind because beyond doubt it's gonna go.
I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
go.
I don't.
The
All right,
Last of
Derek.
Us,
How do you
it was
feel it was going to be
successful game
successful?
wise.
Or none.
What for me personally, as soon as I seen dragons, that was it for me. I was sold. I was like, that's it. You tell me another show that has dragons.
Oh,
You know
all
what I
right. You
mean?
got it, bro. You got it, bro. You got it. You
And
got
then
it.
throughout the
Yeah,
entire
I'm not even gonna
series,
argue
it's
that.
like the entire series is like you want to see these dragons. They're growing and you're growing with the dragons. You know what I mean? Like you're like, what's the dragon gonna do next? You feel me? So for me, it was like, yeah, I can get
I'm
into
not mad at
this.
that. I'm not mad at that. All I'm saying
I can get
is
into this.
I'm and I don't want to harp on that. I don't want to stay on the subject. I just for somebody that is a fan of the games, I just wanted there to be more storytelling than what we got. If you're going to follow the games like they've been doing and you're following it to a T, then there should be more character development. There should be more. Season 1 should have been fleshed out way better to make the impact of Joel dying. I don't think outside of the people that play the games that expected the Joel's death, even when because there was leaks of Joel's death prior to The Last of Us Part 2 coming out, right? And
Yeah, it was actually.
the leaks didn't compare to what I felt when Joel actually died 20 minutes into the game. You
I
know what
can
I'm
get
saying?
that.
Like it hurt me. I'm like, when I tell you, like, I'm telling you literally, I didn't play the game for a full year. Like, my brother had to beg me, bro, you have to finish the story because it's a good game. They like, it's good. It's good.
On
Finish
that
the game,
front,
bro.
that's why I said on that front, I understand and I agree with you. And sidebar, when the Netflix did the series The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, I actually cried when she died. Anyway, but
Did you?
you
So did
know,
you cry when
I
Joel died?
understand. Yeah.
Did I cry when Joel died or
Yeah.
her?
No, you.
No, you.
Oh, me? No, I didn't.
Uh,
I wasn't
You just
emotionally
felt it.
invested into Joel.
no,
That's the
I'm
thing.
talking
Like,
about. I'm talking about during the game.
oh,
Yeah.
during the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the game, I didn't cry, but like I felt it.
You
I ain't
felt
gonna
it.
lie to you. I felt it. Because in the
Boo.
game, it's like, yo, bro, like you think that you're going to be able to play, like at least knowing that he's going to die, you think you're gonna get like half the game with him. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
thought like they're not gonna kill them both this early. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, oh, like he's gonna be maimed and then like he's gonna die later on in the game. Like,
So has there
nah,
ever
like
been a game
they
that made you just like tear up?
That's a good question. That was
I gotta oh
I
wow.
gotta think about that.
Expedition 33. New game that just came out.
Oh,
Clear Obscure. Y'all
Really?
got Xbox, y'all got Game Pass. Download
mhm.
it. It's a really dope game.
I
It's
haven't
a
downloaded it.
homage to Final Fantasy X mixed in with the Souls-like formula. So it's a
Ooh.
turn-based with the Souls-like formula, dodges, parries during active turn-based combat. It's a
Mhm.
dope game.
Okay.
But so the main character Gustav. I don't want to spoil. I don't want to give too many
Don't
spoilers.
spoil it
But
because
the
I
main
actually
character,
want to. This sounds interesting.
yeah, I know you guys want to
to
play,
get
but
into it.
this is the reason why I'm not gonna get into spoilers. But if there was any game that made me feel some type of way where like I did tear up, it was this game that I've been
Okay.
playing that I love so much because of the nostalgia of turn-based. I wish that Final Fantasy VII, when it made the remake, had this type of combat system. It would have been way more immersive, way more dope. But if y'all play that game, when y'all get to Act 2, hit me up, text me, call me. I will hold your hand through it.
Not
But
holding
what I'm saying was the main character Gustav, he's actually voiced by Charlie Cox, Daredevil.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to get to. Yeah, but y'all have to play the game. It's a dope game. If there's any game that kind of made me tear up, like I was like, damn, this is like fucked up. Like I'm mostly invested into this character. It
Wow.
was definitely this new game that I played.
What I
No, it's dope.
want to say, Lou, is nerds. This will go out to gamers everywhere. I grew up around a lot of gamers. At first, I was one myself, but I never fully understood how immersed someone could become into gaming culture as much as they could be into a book or a movie or a show. And I have to say, how you just explained, the way you felt about The Last of Us, it actually made me see it in a different light. I feel like I now fully understand how impactful a game could be and how it can be just as, if not more, impactful just as a movie or a game or a book or a life event. So thank you for that. Thank you.
What's your favorite game? What's your favorite game all time?
Me?
Yeah.
All time.
Your favorite game story wise, like you love the story, you're emotionally invested, you love the characters. This game is everything to you. Like, what is that game for you? What's your go-to game? Like, you could go back to it 1,000 times and you would still feel it like you playing it for the first time. What's that game for you?
Honestly, I would have to say, well, I would say it was two of them, but one of them would be, I'm a sucker for Dragon Ball Z, and I literally could play that game over and over again, no matter what. I could watch the shows over and over again, no matter what.
Okay,
but
but give me a storyline driven game, not from any other medium but video games.
Storyline driven game that I really, really love. I would probably have to say, I would say the three that I played the most that was story driven would be Gears of War, Resident Evil, and Final Fantasy. Those were the only three that I really played that had like full, I mean, besides the Sega days, but the only ones that I really played that had like full, deep, immersive storylines, to be honest. The rest of the gamings that I did was, I mean, I always played Pokemon. I always played, I went to the tournaments and stuff like that, but I never took it serious.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, those are that's what I'm looking for. Derek, give me yours.
Oh, mine is Mass Effect. And
Okay. All right. So imagine
ahead.
they take Mass Effect, right? Imagine they take Gears of War.
Didn't they?
No, Mass Effect hasn't been no, not yet. They're in talks, I think, for Mass Effect, but not yet. But imagine they take Mass Effect and okay, so it's not even arguably, it's not debatable. Andromeda was the worst Mass Effect game, period, right? I'm asking you.
I don't think he heard
Derek.
you.
Can you hear me, Derek?
All right.
Yes.
All right. So Andromeda was the worst game in the Mass Effect universe, correct? Okay. So, and arguably Gears 4 was one of the worst Gears of War games, right?
Arguably, yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay. All right. So imagine them taking Gears 4 and them taking Mass Effect Andromeda and them doing a show just about those two games. you're taking something that you love on something that you spent hours in. Some people only play it for the main quest. You're spending about 20 hours on the on the main storyline. Some people are so invested that they'll spend 60, 70 hours on this one game because you're emotionally invested into the characters. You want to spend more time with them.
That was my ex. That's how I got into Gears of War. My ex.
Right. So that's how I feel about The Last of Us. I have it on every single system. I bought The Last of Us on PS3 when it first came out. I got it on PS4 when they reissued it on PS4. I got it on PS5 when they did the soft remaster thing. I got it on PC. I have it 4 times. 4. So you're telling me that a game that I love, that I'm always going to like to go back to, I'm always going to want to play it, you're not giving me justice on screen. And that's the only thing that I'm saying. I want there to be.
I understand that deeper now
I
than
get
what
it, but it's
before.
also you have to also think about like budgets and like
There's
timing
no
and things
budget
like
for The
that.
Last of
You know
Us
what I
right now.
mean?
You're talking about Sony throwing a bag. You're talking about Sony that's willing to spend $300 million just to on a regular budget for a Spider-Man game. The Last of Us
But
Part
then
2, the budget was
who?
250 million. So in a
But
regular
then you
show
have to
for a
think about
long
who's
season,
directing
special
this.
effects aside, you could spend that 250 and throw it out and throw that bag. Why? Because HBO is matching you. As a studio, the studio is going to match you because they want it to be just as successful as you do. I don't want to hear a budget because at the end of the day, Sony wants this to be successful. Sony wants it to be successful so much that not only did they re-release the game in time for season 1, but they re-released the game again in a package double deal for season 2. That's how
They
successful
knew that was
Sony
gonna
wants it to
sell,
be.
though. Like Derek said,
Exactly.
they knew the game was gonna sell. The
Right.
games are gonna do what the games are gonna do, regardless.
The games are going to sell for gamers, but there's people out there in the medium that has never played the game that are going to sit next to my wife, who's never played the game, is going to sit next to me and look at me knowing that I played the game. Like, how do you feel about this? What's happening? What's going on? There's that medium too. We have to be able to sit in that medium. How many times have we all read the comics and we go to a comic book movie and there's the younger generation who didn't grow up on these comics are looking at us and asking us what's going on in these movies?
Yeah, my daughter asks me questions
Yeah.
all the time.
Right. So with that respect, we have to be able to put the product on screen the way it's, like I said, it's not a movie. It's not a movie where you have to worry about a budget, where you have to condense the story and kind of leave out parts. This is a show. You could have extended season 1 and still killed Joel off by the end of season 2. You killed Joel off 2 episodes in.
This has been happening in all different.
No, and I get that.
Like
I get that. But what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to combat that. All I'm saying is,
I
as
get
a
you.
fan,
I get you.
You love Sailor Moon. Imagine they come out with Sailor Moon with a live action and they just skip over the lunar arc.
Oh, see.
That's what I'm. All right. So
yeah, no. I mean,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. I'm not saying that.
Imagine they speed past the lunar arc. They dedicate one episode for the lunar arc. Like, how upset would you be? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted them to slow it down, to tell a more cohesive story the way that I got to envision it in the game. That's all I'm saying. And I'm leaving it at that. We can move on. I'm sorry. I told you I had to vent on this.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We get you. We ain't Sony though. We can't do
nothing. We've been waiting weeks to talk about this. I appreciate Mary for letting me vent though. Thank you.
The sentence review.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Thank you, Mama Mary. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Sentence review, y'all. It got a
Oh,
little
Derek, go
emotional.
ahead.
Nerds.
Go ahead. You up? You up first, bro?
Got in our
You
little
up
nerd
Oh,
first.
bag a little
am
bit.
I up? I'm up now. I didn't see this movie about 3 times already.
Oh wait, I
I'll tell
got
you
a
that.
question. I got a question.
Go
Before
ahead.
you start your review, I got a question for the panel. Would this have worked in any other medium?
What? We talking about Last of Us or we talking about Sinners?
No, Sinners.
What do you
Would
mean?
this have worked in any other medium? Like as
As
far
like
as
as like
the
a TV
vampires being
shows and
white
shit?
and the people being black? Would
No,
this
I
have
think
worked?
everything was. I don't want to use the word, but I think everything was perfect. That's just me though. That's just
Woo!
me.
That's a big word.
That's
That's a
what I'm
big
saying.
word.
I don't want to use that word, but I think
I
it
mean, but
was
would it have worked in any
used.
other medium?
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I don't think it would have been as successful. There's so much history to it. You know what I mean? Like there's just it's a lot, man. It's a lot
You're
of
right.
layers to the movie too.
I think it could have worked. It could have worked, but would it have garnered the success and the talks that it has?
I don't
No,
think so.
because of the historical elements. You're
All right.
absolutely right.
And it's different. That's why it's an original movie. You know what I mean?
My
It
second question is: would it have worked had it not been two Michael B. Jordans and a Michael B. Jordan and a Jonathan Majors? Because a
that's
lot of people have been wanting.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
seen
So,
that too.
the rumor is
would
that
y'all
it was
have liked it
supposed to
more?
be Jonathan Majors. It was
But
supposed
you
to
know
be
what's funny?
the opposite Jonathan Majors. That was the
I've seen
rumor.
a lot of
But would you have liked it the same?
I don't
Because
know.
I
I
don't
can't say.
know how because I think the duality of Michael B. Jordan playing two characters but being in the same movie and having two totally different personalities,
It put him
that
on
the duality of
a
that,
different podium. Like
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I think he's a terrific actor.
I think
I
it
didn't think he
catapulted
was
him.
this good
Definitely.
of an
Yeah.
actor. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
that
Like,
definitely put him on a different
you
lane.
know what
It
I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Like
definitely,
Like
it
it's
it
definitely
not this is
catapulted
not
him into a
what's her face?
different caliber.
What's the movie? The Disney movie
Lindsay
with
Lohan.
the white chick,
With Lindsay
the
With,
white
Lohan,
girl.
um
Yeah. What's that movie?
Parent Trap.
Parent
Parent Trap.
Trap. Yeah,
This is not Parent Trap. This is not she was essentially playing the
absolutely.
same person. Like
Absolutely.
let's be I don't want to knock her because she was like 10 years old, but
No,
And
she
it's
was
no.
playing
I
the
get
same
you.
classic.
person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Michael B. Jordan's playing
Absolutely.
two separate characters that are the same person. Like it's
Two separate characters, two separate personalities, two separate relationship types, two
that is
separate
so insane to me, bro.
oh
The
like
duality
What I will say,
and to bring it all together.
to be fair, because I love psychological thrillers. I have seen movies where the character has done this. However, I will say that him doing this catapulted him, catapulted him into a different caliber of an actor. That I will
Wait,
say.
first of all,
However, I do know
what movie you
and
talking about?
believe. I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan, him playing this in Sinners, him playing these two characters catapulted him into another caliber as an actor. He's on a different level, in my opinion, now after
Mm.
this
well,
movie.
you know what I
But what
think?
I'm saying is that it could have still been done, and I do believe very successful if it had been Jonathan Majors playing, opposite
You know what
him.
I think though.
I
I
think it would have
think
gave
as
it a
soon as
different movie though.
I
I
think it
think
would
as
have been a
soon as
different
you
movie,
saw
yes, but I think it still would have been successful. His question was, would it have been successful, or could it have worked if Jonathan Majors did it? And yeah, it could
That's
have.
tough.
I think
We
what
can
it
think about
was
the what
is
else, but
Mary got to see two Michael B. Jordans on one screen with their shirt off, and she was like,
No, you just wanted to use that soundbite. I've actually never been that attracted to him.
you know what's funny? That's been the discourse of like a lot of people, especially on TikTok, where they're saying that it's like I haven't been attracted to Michael B. Jordan until now.
Oh no, I still I'm he's always been attractive, but I've never like fawned over him like that. I loved him as
That's
Killmonger.
interesting.
He was very attractive as Killmonger, right? But
Yeah,
outside of that, I just saw him as a handsome man. That's it. And even now, I see him as a handsome man, but he has the depth of an actor that I respect. He's at a
Oh
different
man,
Yeah, you good, bro.
caliber
Take the
now.
rest.
Different
yeah,
caliber.
he definitely did his thing, as
Yeah.
well as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? The whole cast, I think,
Of
was
course, the
just,
whole cast, of course. It
you
was
know what I
phenomenal.
mean? Like the
Yeah.
I
whole
think
cast.
not enough credit goes to Michael Cougar. I'm
Ryan Coogler.
Why not?
Ryan Cougar. I'm sorry.
Why
What?
not?
Everyone's been praising him. He set the bar.
Well,
These
I think
filmmakers better come. They better come
as
correct.
a director, and as somebody as a visionary, I don't think as a black director and as a black visionary, I don't think he gets enough credit. Not from us. I'm talking about from the
The
wider
masses.
scope. I don't think he gets the credit.
Well, after this damn movie,
I still don't think I still don't think he gets the credit or the widespread acclaim that his um that his peers
Should give him.
of the
That's
fairer
because he's
skin
black.
get.
That's because he's black. We know this already.
Right. And I think that I still think that Black Panther was better. Don't and I think that the storytelling and the directing style of Fruitvale Station was better. I think that the storytelling for Sinners and how it's set up, or just off the beginning, you come into the beginning of the movie and it's literally the end of the movie. I like the storytelling of this movie, but in my opinion, don't slay me. Don't come for me. All right. Black Panther and Fruitvale Station are my tops when it comes to Ryan Coogler. The first Black Panther.
okay, but we talking about Sinners now, so let's, you know what I'm saying? This is the review for Sinners. All right, that's where we're at with this.
You
That's
know,
what
the
we want to hear.
Constitution says that
No, I love the movie. I don't think I'm as enthralled as you guys are. I
the
thought that it was a dope
Constitution
movie.
states that we technically have freedom of speech, right? Technically. So I'm just gonna
I
let you
guess.
It's not
speak.
technical. It's not
I
technical.
guess.
You
I
know,
guess.
I'm gonna let you speak.
Look, I like the movie. I'm not y'all that's fanning over this movie. I think that there's other better movies. I just think that as a person of color, we have to we have to back our people when it comes to what they put out into the media. So especially when it comes to movies, we have to back them. We gotta go watch it. We gotta watch it 3, 4, 5 times because these opportunities come too far and in between. But if I'm going to be technical, I like Ryan Coogler's other movies more than I like this one. I like this one. I was a little confused at the ending. I'm not gonna lie to you. It confused me. When did smoke run from the smoke? No, there wasn't smoke. It was Stack. When did Stack? When did he disappear into the barn, or when did he escape the
He
sun?
never left. He never left the barn. Notice
Yes,
at
he
the
did.
end
He
of
was outside.
uh, when?
Oh, the white girl was outside. She was
Yeah,
outside.
she dipped off. She was out. But Stack never left the barn.
Feels like a plot hole, man. Okay,
And
all right.
how?
I'll give you Stack. I'll give you Stack. The white girl,
She dipped out.
Haley.
She was gone a long time ago. She been
Now
ran.
All right.
That's your
I,
issue with the
Okay.
movie?
what I would
All right.
say is about the movie
All right,
is
man.
I love the historical references because ultimately, you know, one of the big, not the only, but one of the big, lessons of the movie was showing us, people of color, that how Christianity was forced on us and how we needed to go back to our spirituality and things like that. I like the fact that this has been a controversial topic throughout history and even now, and that was one of the things that was kind of implied and showcased in the movie. And not only that, you got to see I felt like we got to see Ryan's mind, like he's done in
He
those
a
other
freak.
movies you've
That's
saw
he a freak, bro.
in the other movies you've seen his creativity, you've seen his take on other things, but this movie You got to truly dive into the secret parts of his mind. And it takes a certain level of psychotic, I'm sorry, to create certain things like this.
I don't know.
Whether
You
it's
just gotta
still
be
whether it's
freaky.
a movie.
Cause
But
he is freaky. Ryan freaky. That's what Ryan is. That's
he
what
definitely set the bar. These filmmakers,
freaky.
whether you're white, black, brown, yellow, purple, you better come hard and you better come correct, because anything less, you might as well not even come.
Yeah.
Just don't come.
It was. It was. It was a lot. It was a lot. Obviously, there's things in the movies that we question. Apparently, white girls running away is Lou's his gripe with the movie. That's the only thing he was super confused about. He was
Well,
like,
for
"Oh
the
no,
record, I
No,
had
no,
this
no. I mean, I
discussion
like the
about this
movie.
movie
I
with
thought it
a
was
I
few
don't,
white
I don't,
women,
I don't think you
and
I
did.
watched it in
I
they
don't
IMAX.
loved it.
think you did.
Did y'all go to IMAX and watch it?
I went to
It was meant to
RPX.
be watched in
Yeah,
IMAX. Did you watch it in IMAX?
I went to
no,
It's
RPX.
coming back. Matter of fact, next week is coming back into IMAX
Oh yeah,
theaters.
I'm gonna go see it again.
it is, and I am.
Yeah,
Same here.
I
But
think that's the best way to
I
watch
like
it.
the fact that the
I thought
movie
I like
reached white people. There were white people that said this movie was amazing. They understood it. They
absolutely,
wanted to
yeah.
learn more. I even had a whole meeting with white women discussing this film. I didn't
But not,
intend to,
but not
but
even just that. It's the culture behind not only Black people but Irish people too. You know how many Irish
yeah,
people on TikTok are so like they felt it
no,
because of the
I
songs that
like
were
that
that were
because of the
played during.
Irish here.
yeah.
That is so
Yeah,
dope to me.
I
First of all,
think
they was
that's
jigging and
I,
it
I
was
don't
it
I
was
cool.
don't
going
like
crazy.
I don't like the white people though. The aspect
But
though, I ain't gonna lie to you,
what do you mean?
because it's like this movie. This movie was showing what it was like to be a black man in the southern parts of America during a time where we wasn't looked at as
People.
people. I mean,
Hmm.
we still aren't really, but at
Jim
that
Crow.
point in time, we really wasn't. Well, this movie was kind of censored right before the civil rights movement. This was before there was um more of the free man, the black man doing what I, I want. I want there to be a movie that delves into more of like the Black Wall Street, Tulsa. I want there to be like I want Ryan Coogler to get his Tarantino on and do a revisionist. You know how Tarantino kind of like takes history and kind of like does his own revisionist type of thing.
Mhm.
I want Ryan Coogler to do that. I want him to do something with Tulsa. I want him to do something with what was the black community in Texas. I want him to try to do stuff like that because it does bring light to that. And I don't think that I get that white people are celebrating this movie, but I feel like they're celebrating it for the wrong reasons. This
Absolutely.
movie is by far something for us, built by us, made for us because of the significance of the historical significance of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you talk about the Ku Klux Klan at the end of the movie, and he's gunning through them. I mean, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that to me was my favorite part of the movie. I don't care what nobody says. My favorite
That's
part of the
fine.
movie is when he was going crazy on the Ku Klux Klan,
But
and
I think that's the
and he
beauty
was
of the
struggling with the
movie.
cigarette. He was like, "Give me that cigarette before I kill you."
No,
Like
but
that's
I
my
think
favorite
that
part of the movie.
it's the little details in the movie, like you said, the cigarette. Like he literally couldn't live
He
without
could
his
have rolled his
brother.
own cigarettes.
He
Yeah,
couldn't. Like you
yeah.
could see it. You could
Shaq
see
rolled
it.
his
You can
cigarette.
literally
Yeah,
see it at the end of the movie. And
yeah.
it's like, yo, those little details are so
No,
great, and that's what I
and I
loved about the
applaud Ryan
movie.
Coogler for that. I
Absolutely.
applaud him for the small details. The when they was in the barn and homie started to play the guitar for the first time, and it showed you that his voice was mixing the cultures, because that's what black music
Mm,
does. Black
so
music
good.
mixes the
absolutely.
culture. We are the culture.
We
I
are
don't
the
think that
culture.
So
people
good.
understand that we invented music.
Yo,
Period.
All
man,
And
things
it's
there
a
imitated,
was
medium.
never celebrated. That is black people.
so
Right.
many layers to
So
this
when it
damn movie.
comes down to it, when they showed the Chinese and the
Yeah,
different generations of the different music and the different arts of the dances and the movements and the skill levels that these people possess, this is something that resonated with me in that particular part of the movie because of the fact that this is showing you what we've contributed to worldwide culture, where you
Not
have
even
these people
contributed.
who,
It's
try
showing
to
you
come
what
in.
we started, what we built.
Well,
Because
that too.
even
Well, that too.
now,
But
we're
I'm
still
I don't,
contributing, and
right,
we don't
contribute.
get
I
it.
don't want to say contribute because that you're right. That's the wrong word. That we've created these spaces. We've created the juke joints. We've created jazz. We've created rock and roll. Um we've created
So
every
much
site
so
and
that different
any
cultures
type of
from
music
other
that you could think of
countries
came from
are
us.
imitating. Yeah,
Right. And now you have these people that are piggybacking off of what we've created and saying that it's their own country music was made by black people,
that's the truth. That
jazz
is the
made
truth.
by black people.
That is the truth.
So
Rock and roll, black
why
people.
is country music majority white now? Why? These are the questions that I feel like this movie brings up because it's showing you our cultural impact,
I
what
feel
I
we've
like
think
it
that just
created.
forces
added another
people.
layer.
It forces
Yeah,
people
yeah, I think so.
not to be oblivious anymore, because a lot of people, they act dumb, they act like they don't know, or what they try to do is, oh, I'm gonna steal black culture and I'm gonna make it better and I'm gonna just X them out. Even, it's sad to
And you
say, but
can't.
even
And that
Africans
and
do the
that's
same.
what Rembrick
Oh yeah,
represented.
and I agree. I agree
Not
with
just
that.
as a vampire, but that's what he represented. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? The what's the word? The culture vulture, if you will, you know.
yeah, culture
And that's
vultures.
and
Yeah,
that's and that's what I loved about the movie. Um and not only that, like I said, all the characters, everybody played their part so well. I
yeah.
think one of my
I
favorites was
like
Cornbread
how
himself.
I
I
like
really,
how
this movie better win
we can
every award
celebrate.
next award season. It
Oh
better.
yeah, I hope so. I
It
hope so.
better.
I hope so.
I mean,
I hope so. If
yeah,
we had a vote, that would be my vote. But
And
that's the
I also
goal.
like how it wasn't the pretty light skinned black woman that Smoke was in love with. No, it was the
Annie,
voluptuous,
yeah. And you know
the
what? You know what's crazy?
what society nowadays would deem as
Jesus
not
Christ.
a desirable black woman. You know what
But you
I'm
know what's
saying?
crazy? The crazy thing is, I've heard this discourse on TikTok too, is that when she first popped up, people thought she was his mother.
That she was his mother or his
I'm like
sister,
that
or
that
I'm not
that
gonna
thought
lie to
didn't
you.
even
I'm not
cross my
gonna lie to
mind.
you. When it presented itself, I didn't understand it because how it was presented was almost like they
Really?
was related. Um,
It
for a split
never even
second
crossed my
when their
mind.
first conversation, but then when you realize that like, oh, like that's his ex and he's visiting the grave of, because you didn't know the
I
juxtaposition at that point in time. Like
I
you have to keep
guess, but
watching. That's why I always say, like, don't take clips or don't go off of 15 seconds. You gotta
I
watch it in
think that
totality.
people, I'm not saying you, but I think that a lot of people may have thought that they weren't romantically involved because of how she looked. Because and
I
that's
want to
just
say that.
reality. No, that's
No,
the
I get what you're
reality.
saying. I know you're not
The,
saying it's
the, the
mean, but I
popular view
right.
of how a woman is supposed to look in
Woman is supposed to look,
society
and that's why I say
versus how women that do everything, or she looked like a hardworking woman that does everything, that does this and does that. Like,
mhm,
there's so many stereotypes that are and expectations that are placed on black women still to this
mhm.
day, that it is it's bothersome.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I applaud Ryan Coogler for casting her specifically, because he could have casted the pretty light skinned black girl.
she was
She
pretty.
is
He
pretty though.
I was about
No,
to say she was
I'm
pretty.
not saying she's
She is
not. I'm
pretty.
saying I'm not saying she's not. She's a very beautiful woman. First of all, she will always be B 320 to me. Marvel. She was, oh yeah, she'll always be, that for me. But what I'm saying is he could have went with the less voluptuous, the
Yeah.
less curvy,
The
he could have went
Euro
with the
standard.
skinny light skin. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not
Euro
saying that
standard.
she's ugly. I'm not saying no, she's a very beautiful black woman. And I'm happy that he casted her specifically. because of the fact that one, she's a great actress, and
Mm-hmm.
two, you're bypassing the standards and expectations of the newer generation that every black girl has to look a certain type of way for her to be deemed pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like, this movie showed you that one, beautiful black women come in all shapes and sizes, and
And do.
beautiful black women can be not only strong and supportive, but be the backbone and be the
Wait,
launch pad
I
to
don't agree
what
with that
you
statement.
are
Hold on.
doing.
He didn't showcase that black women can be that. He showcased how black women have always had to be that. There's a huge difference. Black women
Okay.
Mm.
have always had to be strong, had to
Because
be
hey,
resilient,
listen,
had to be the
listen.
backbone, had to be the supporter, had
Smoke
to
ain't
carry
smoke
and
ain't
build everything.
smoke ain't question a damn thing. You feel
let's
me?
let's let's
Like,
let's
anytime she
now
spoke, that was
Smoke
let's
it.
get
is
that
Smoke was
roll.
like,
Let's get that right.
nah.
I,
Smoke was like,
I
yeah.
I do apologize. Thank you for clarifying for me. That's what
And
I
we
meant.
had keyword
I don't
had
mean
to.
it in
We never wanted
I don't
to.
mean it
We
disrespectfully.
had to. We
But
had
yes,
to.
that's what I mean,
Never wanted
because
to.
this my mom spent 30 years in the army, right? My mom
Thank you for your
got all
service.
the way up to the rank of major,
Mm.
and she was
Nice.
up for a promotion, and they basically told her that they're not going to give her a promotion. She could either stay in the military at her current rank or she could retire. My mom is probably one of the strongest women that I know, for the fact that she's been through the wars. She was in Iraq, she was in Afghanistan, she did all these tours, but
Mm,
she's also somebody who's like, I forget her name in the movie, but she's
Annie.
somebody who had to be strong. She had to be strong not because of the man that she's with or because of what society is putting on top of her, but because the expectations are, if you're
they're always
not
higher.
this if you're not this strong black woman, then
You're nothing.
you're nothing. Right.
Hmm.
So I think that's something in this movie that resonated with me a lot, because it did make me think about my mother. It did make me think about what we deem in society as what is a black woman. You know what I'm
Yeah,
Mm.
saying?
and
And
it's a huge problem with that because black women never wanted to be these things. It's what we were expected to
right,
be and have to do. And
it's
now
what's put
even
upon. Yeah.
having a partner, you have partners that saw their mothers and their aunts and other women have to be those things. So now they get with a partner and they expect those same things. And it's like, hello, can I rest? Can I sleep for 2 hours? Can I have a moment where I'm soft? Like, can you
Yeah.
get to know the other parts of me? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I think the movie showcased what a black woman always was and always had to be.
Yeah.
And she
I
deserved to
agree.
be respected as such.
I
Like
agree.
if I'm turning the neck, then God damn it, respect me, okay? For turning the
And
neck.
I also like, not for nothing, I liked how she was willing she was still in love with Smoke. She was still willing to be with Smoke. She was willing to die for him. I don't think I don't think black love is talked about enough. You know what I'm
I
saying?
also thought that that was her weakness, unpopular opinion, but
I
No,
think
you're
that was
not
her
the
strength.
you're
I
not the
think
first
that, in
person to
my
ever say
opinion,
that.
I thought that was her strength. She they both lost. All right, so when it comes to loss, I don't think that's talked about enough too. They lost their son. You know what I'm saying? There's that connection where he might have left because he couldn't deal with the trauma of losing his son. So he probably went to the war, and he was in Chicago with Al Capone, and he was doing all of these different things. And then when he finally comes back home, now he has to deal with that trauma. He has to reconcile with that. And I think that scene in that hut was him reconciling with that trauma. I think she already dealt with that trauma, and it's messed up because she had to deal with that alone. And I think that this movie kind of showcased that. And I don't think that that's talked about enough. I think that this movie is one big algorithm of trauma recycling itself from from the from living in a world of with your skin color to um to the undertone of being a vampire, meaning living in a world where you're accepted, but you're accepted because of what you are willing to do to be accepted. So almost like selling your soul to the devil. And then three, the last undertone is you willing to stand and fight for what you feel is the right thing to do.
I
I have
think
a
it
question.
creates a bigger conversation of Black men and Black women. They have suffered so much trauma that oftentimes even the healing journey still prevents them from being able to, I guess, connect or understand or truly, be a force together nowadays, because you're still dealing with so much trauma on your own. It's just so hard to get through that stuff. I
Yeah,
often weep
I
for
agree.
Black men and for Black women, because it's like you can't be mad that they're butting heads, and you can't, like, you celebrate when they're not butting heads, but you can understand when they are. Like, it just created a lot of questions, a lot of nuances. It brought a lot of stuff to the forefront. I'm happy it did, but I'm curious to see where the conversation goes and if it yields any real time results. But go ahead,
Mm.
Derek.
Um, did you guys know it was a vampire movie?
Yeah, I knew going into it was a vampire movie.
I didn't, because I had loosely heard about it. I had heard some of my film friends talk about it, but I've been so busy that I didn't tune in until I
That's
tuned
fair.
in. Yeah.
That's fair. Did it confuse you that it turned out to be vampires in the movie?
No,
No, no.
Okay. Okay.
no.
Because I've seen a lot of discourse on that too, where it's like people didn't like it because they were like, why are there vampires in the movie? This confused me. I'm so confused now. And it's just like,
It didn't confuse me, because if you think about the history of a vampire and the complexity of the creature that has been created when it comes to vampires, like every
mhm,
vampire story that I've ever heard, ever read, all the history, the mythology on it, it's all very complex. It's all they're not a one-toned creature. So
mm,
to conflate that with the story that he was telling about our people, it actually made perfect sense. It was like a perfect sync. I don't understand how people got confused by that. Maybe if you've never been into vampires, I can halfway see that. But if you know vampires and you're into that sort of thing, I don't get how you would be confused. I don't get it.
yeah, people
Yeah,
were like,
I was.
Um,
yeah, I thought it was about like voodoo and haints and all of this extra, and then vampires came into the movie, and I'm like confused, I'm lost, I don't know what's going on. How did we get here? And just like, um,
well, I mean,
Was it white people?
all of that is the
it
thing, though.
wasn't.
Even
That's
voodoo,
the
Oh, okay.
thing.
all of that. It's because people like to be oblivious. Witchcraft, voodoo, all that stuff, it really does exist, people. It really was a thing back in that time. And if
Yeah.
you really believe in these creatures, so were these creatures. Like, he
Mm,
went historical with it. I think that's the lost right there. A lot of people, they're not
maybe.
to
Yeah.
their history. He went historical with it. And I think that's where they're like, um,
The white
Yeah, no.
vampire wanted a black man because he had the power to connect culture.
Mm,
That's what it is.
and
literally
we
what it is.
still, we still have that power. We still connect cultures to the point to where everybody in every country, you point me a country and I can easily point you a group of people who imitate in Black culture.
I know, and I agree. That's why I
Different
say like
people who are a fan of Black culture. Again, even in Africa, you have Africans that they don't like Black Americans, but they love Black culture.
yeah.
So
But
it's
that's where you get the culture vulture from, and I think that this is a perfect example. It's a metaphor for culture vulture. It's a
Yeah.
white man who wanted this black culture, this black richness, because when he played music, it literally was the starting point for every other music medium, and I think that was a perfect that was the perfect metaphor for a culture vulture. I think that
Mm,
ultimately that's what the
in the
movie
history
was
of
about.
our history. I mean,
And the fact that white people, I want to say white people, I want to like, make it a race thing, but it is.
but race isn't everything.
It's
Sorry, nerds,
you know
but
what does
if you
what
know,
does a
you know.
vampire do? A vampire sucks your blood. So if you take the metaphor for
wanna
what
be a
it's worth.
vampire.
It's sucking your soul. It's taking your essence. It's taking what makes you you and trying to steal it. Because that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically what a vampire does. It steals your life essence. A
yeah,
vampire steals your blood. It steals your life essence. It steals your life. So at the
so
end of the day, what was he trying to do? He was trying to get this. He was trying to get Sammy because Sammy connected cultures. He
y'all got me excited to wanna see the movie again. Ugh,
Yo,
It's
no,
dope. It's
no.
dope. I'm not.
See,
I'm not mad at
I
this
think
movie. I think it was a
I think I
dope
have a
movie.
problem.
Yeah,
what's your problem? What's your problem?
My
he
problem is
wants
I
to
want to
see it
see it
again.
again.
You wanna see it again?
I think I have a problem. Like they put Kugler put
I'm
crack
not
in
mad
this
at
movie
that
or
though.
something. I don't know
Oh,
I'm
why.
not mad at them. But I do want to shout out Ryan Coogler, the whole movie
amazing,
studio,
amazing,
everybody,
amazing.
because they made their money. They've
Shout out to
and Ryan
it being
Coogler
an
is
original
is a
film.
is a friend of my brother-in-law.
Fire.
And he's in that whole medium and everything with them and everything. So shout out to Ryan Coogler. I'm very
Wow,
happy, very
amazing.
proud that a black man can make this much noise and get so many people upset off of it, because you got articles coming out saying, I love it. I love it.
Mhm. Oh,
So
it's
shout out to Ryan Coogler for that, man.
basically Ryan Coogler said, "Imma make this and I want all the smoke." Okay? Like,
I
that's
love it.
basically
Listen,
I
what
love it,
he said.
man.
listen.
I love
I
it.
hope this
And,
inspires
and I and I
other
hope
Black
I hope
filmmakers to really bring it and come forward, because
No
there's
that's
so
what I
facts.
was
many
gonna
dope
say. I
so
hope
many
more
dope
black
Black filmmakers.
filmmakers get to step into the space
We
that
need more
Yeah.
Ryan
original
Coogler,
films like
because
that.
this was more of a leap of faith. This was him taking a chance on himself and
Yeah.
and really backing himself. And I think that with this, I hope that oh, excuse me. I hope that more black directors and black writers get more prominence and get to step in that spotlight because of the lane that Ryan Coogler
I mean,
ultimately is
it
paving
definitely
for
inspired me,
more black people.
so far
Hey man,
I've produced short films so far, but and it's inspired me though. I hope to get to even a fraction of the level that he has
I'm
set.
happy. I'm
That he
happy
has
that
set.
lit a fire in you. I really
Yeah,
am. You know,
so amazing.
but
He's phenomenal.
and
Phenomenal.
and fellow nerds, this is why we do the podcast. This is why we are in the medium, because we want to give more voices to the things that we know you guys like, that we like.
Yeah. A
So
little bit of
it's
everything.
dope.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit
it's
of
dope,
sugar,
man.
a little bit of spice. Everything nice.
Shout out
Everything,
Ryan.
okay?
Yeah.
Everything.
I think well, do you want to talk about the Monster Hunter Wilds? You want to talk about it? Yeah, I figured that. And a
Yeah.
lot of
everything.
the rest of these topics are Rob related. So let's just get into the verses. No, because Rob's not here, and I don't really want to delve into these topics,
Yeah,
because
no, I get
these
He
you.
are,
has a lot to say on
yeah,
them. Yeah, I
yeah,
definitely wanna find
I
out
get you.
and
what
y'all are not caught up on One Piece. I don't want to spoil anything for you
All
guys.
right,
That would
all
be
right.
more of a me
we've
versus
been
Rob.
busy. We have
I'm
lives.
not
We
I'm not
the
knocking y'all.
spring is
Man,
I'm saying
busy.
listen.
I don't. I'm not knocking you guys. I'm just saying I don't want to. I don't want to ruffle feathers. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's just get into the
I
verses, man.
respect it. I respect it. Oh, we still doing this?
I mean, unless y'all have a different verses and we could wait for Rob for this one. It's up to y'all.
I mean, we could wait
Y'all
for
wanna
Rob.
freestyle the verses? All right, let's freestyle the verse then.
All right,
We could
we gonna
freestyle the
freestyle.
verses.
I'm gonna have.
We
Oh
gonna
God,
so the first
y'all
time we're gonna
really.
freestyle the verses, nerds. So if y'all have
What we
any
got?
ideas for our verses, let us know. Let us know. Who we
Jeez,
thinking?
man, I'm trying to look around my room.
Not looking
Uh,
around this room. Let's do like a
uh,
fun one. Let's do a fun one because we just did. Honestly, that was a deep dive into
BRB.
So let's do like a fun, lighthearted verses. Then they're
oh,
on a
let's do vampires. Let's stay on the
oh,
topic.
let's do vampires. Okay. Are we doing
This is gonna be a
vampires?
three-way battle. Three-way battle.
Oh, I know what
Three-way
vampire
battle.
I want.
Wait, hold up. Three-way battle.
I got mine.
Nesferatu versus Lestat versus
No.
no.
No, I'm saying yes, but I want the vampire that was from Shadowhunters.
I've never seen Shadowhunters, so I don't know what you're talking about.
What? See.
it.
I
Sorry.
need y'all nerds to come in and flame Lou because I don't understand. Like, I don't
What's that?
understand.
What's that? Is that a anime comic? Is
No,
it a
Shadowhunters
is
was
it
a show
it's a movie?
that was
It was a
from a book.
show.
It was a show that was derived from the book, The Shadowhunters.
Mhm.
Okay. And yeah, you just gotta watch this. You gotta watch it. Definitely
Well, I'm gonna
gotta watch
say
Can we figure it out?
I was gonna
it.
say
So we're gonna
Nosferatu
do
versus Lestat versus Dracula. That's what I was gonna say.
oh
She wanted to put in
I
Not
wanted to put in
Nosferatu.
I wanted to put in a vampire from the show
from
The Shadowhunters
I
or
never
from the book
seen I never
itself.
seen you ever seen Shadowhunters? Is that what it's called? Shadowhunters?
Yes, The Shadowhunters.
What
Yo,
is it?
I
Derek, you ever
wanted
seen
to put
Shadowhunters?
in
Is it a
Magnus
movie
Bane.
or anime? Or it's,
And
See?
actually
You never seen it.
he wasn't
Exactly what
even
I said.
a vampire. He was actually
what
a
is it?
warlock.
Is it a show?
It was a book and it was turned into a show. So I mean,
I've never even heard of
Yeah,
it,
I
to be
never seen
honest
it.
with you.
I never seen it.
this is
Never seen it.
crazy. You know,
Mm.
this
And
is
maybe we shouldn't do a
this is going
versus.
on one of my nerd
Maybe,
talk rants. How about that?
maybe,
All right, let's just do
maybe we should just do a battle.
Dracula versus uh Nosferatu.
You said a 3-way.
Dracula.
Well, I mean, we could add Lestat, but I mean, Lestat was gay.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, right.
It is. But nah,
So who we
Nosferatu
got?
versus Dracula.
Gotta go Dracula.
You going Dracula?
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I think Nosferatu was he was motivated by one thing and one thing only. I don't think that
Say it. Say it. Say it. Was he
he had
motivated by?
one he, he had one motivation. I don't think he really cared about anything else.
I mean, but
So
Dracula
I'm
had one
going.
motivation too.
I
Mm.
guess.
He didn't become a
What?
villain until they killed his wife.
Yeah, that's different though. It's a lot
It
different.
is. Because Nosferatu was he was stalking.
He just wanted one thing, and that was it.
He was a little too thirsty.
That
Pun
was,
Not
intended.
was it worth it? That's the was it worth it?
But I mean,
Oh
power
no.
scaling wise, they was there. Power scaling wise.
Was it though? Because he didn't really.
I don't know,
He
man.
sent
I
out a
don't
few
know because I
plagues.
feel like what's Dracula's son? What's his name?
I mean,
From Castlevania. What was his son's name?
I think avert like
What version
I
of
think maybe
Dracula are we talking
Nosferatu
about
got
here?
it in the battle though. Maybe.
What version of Dracula are we talking about here?
I was little. I mean, for my first thought of Dracula was Castlevania. So if we're going off of Castlevania Dracula, in any medium, I think
I guess.
he got
I
it.
mean,
He got it. But Nosferatu
so
is
y'all,
type strong too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. He's just really
what?
tall. I don't know if he's strong. I don't know if he's strong.
I give you that. I go Dracula. I go Dracula.
I don't know
I
if
go
he was
Dracula.
really strong.
Yeah. Look, Mary want to be devil's advocate so bad.
Please do it. Please do it.
She was on her phone. She was on her phone just now. She was Googling the
I
different.
was like, wait a minute. I had to look up one little thing. I think I'm
What
gonna
was it
stick
that
with
you
what I said.
looked up?
I think I'm gonna stick with what I said.
Well, who?
I
What'd you
think I'm gonna
say?
stick with what I said. I'm gonna stick with Nosferatu. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You got it. Come on, talk.
Why?
Give you examples.
You got to give us
Yeah.
your explanation.
Explain yourself.
Well, so I had to look back because there was films on both, and I had to look
Mhm.
back from it was something that I remembered. So I feel two reasons. One reason is I feel like everyone is automatically going to choose Dracula just because of everyone has some version or account of Dracula that they can talk about, and there's a reason why they would choose Dracula. But if you go back into the films, right?
Mhm.
Nosferatu, there was actually a good story there. And if I remember correctly, there was actually, here I go with my research, right? There was actually way back in the day, this was actually a button topic about putting them against each other. And they were also compared, and even Nosferatu was actually called Dracula at one point. So,
I mean, well, they're both based off of Vlad the Impaler.
true. Very true. So, yeah. Yeah. And based on history's depiction, Nosferatu apparently was, I guess, considered or called Dracula before Dracula became a thing. So, I mean, yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
So,
I'm not mad
so,
at that.
so your
Somebody
reason
got to
is
be on the
because
opposite
he was
side of the
Dracula
fence.
before
So you know
Dracula.
what, Mary? Cool.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
Cool, man.
There's like
I'm cool with
whatever.
I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with
I'm
that. I'm cool with
becoming
somebody.
I'm becoming delusional, man. I'm tired.
I'm
Nah,
sorry.
but yeah. Take us out. Take us out, Mary.
All right, guys, that is it for tonight. This was a very interesting episode, not like it normally is, but we love it. And we love for you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think. Give us your views. We want to interact with you. We're here for you. And peace.
Oh, and please play Clear Obscure Expedition 33. It's on Game Pass. Support. Go play it. It's a great game.
Make sure you see Sinners. Make sure you watch Daredevil. Make sure you play the game. Make sure you check out everything else we mentioned because it's dope. Peace.
Ew, you're a nerd. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Whatever. Nerd, 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 nerd.